Welcome to my channel. It's called Lunasa. I'm Kim. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. This is how Florence Scovel Shinn goes on to explain the great spiritual law of giving and receiving. It's a quote from the Bible, and it's worth stopping to study it. What immediately stands out to me is the idea that you have to think long term with your actions and your words. When you put the seed in the ground, when you harvest it, it's not the same time. So it's not a present action. So when you start to sow your seeds, you have to think what's going to happen at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of 6 months, at the end of the year. So you have to start thinking long term and developing that patience. And I also think that you have to be patient and let it grow. There's a quote somewhere that says, "The day you plant the seed is not the day you see the fruit." But I think we also have to be honest about what we're planting. Because if we're planting an apple seed, get ready for apple trees. If you're planting flowers, get ready to see flowers. Don't plant an apple seed and then want to see a rose bush, or get frustrated that you see an apple tree. Florence explains this more when she writes, "So whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." This means that whatever a man sends out in word or deed will return to him. What he gives, he will receive. If he gives hate, he'll receive hate. If he gives love, he'll receive love. If he gives criticism, he'll receive criticism. If he lies, he'll be lied to. If he cheats, he'll be cheated. So know what you're planting and be honest about it, because that's what's going to come back, and it will save you the disappointment and the frustration. But to be quite frank, some of these things kind of scare me. Some of these things are kind of ominous. And I start actually thinking about karma and breaking the bonds of what's established before. So you gave criticism, you're getting back criticism. How can we break this karmic loop? Or even, how do we get mercy? Because to give hate, how do we make sure that hate's not coming back to us when we've wisened up and we don't want to do it anymore? It's actually something that Florence herself addresses in her whole chapter on karma. And I think from right now that it's about starting a new motion in action to get new results. And this is also something that Florence addresses too. Florence gives us a tip, though, that we should focus on our words and our deeds. So what we say to ourselves and to others, how we speak over our lives, those matter tremendously. It's also in our deeds, what we do. And so if we can focus on those two areas, then those are the two areas that are coming back to us and are being governed by that spiritual law. There's an old quote that goes back to Florence's time that says, "Thoughts are things and have airy wings, and they get sent out and they come back to us." So our words are not inconsequential. They're doing something. But again, no, it's working long term. It's working over the months, 6 months, year. It really does change it right away, but also know you have a long-term mindset because you're sowing and also reaping. So I think maybe it's a good idea to sit back and think about what we're thinking about. Think about what's on our mind, and then wonder if we would want that returned to us. That's what we're giving off. Maybe we don't want to. Another way to put it is that this is what you're prophesying over your life. Recently, I was listening to a talk by Victoria Osteen, who is, she and her husband, Joel Osteen, pastor the largest church in America, and she was giving a talk on the power of words. And she told the story of listening to a mother talk about her daughter's future, and she got really scared for the daughter just listening to her mother talk. And she asked, "Is that what you want to happen?" And the mother said no. So Victoria replied, don't prophesy that over your life. And it's also a nod to what Florence will talk about too, because she does talk about mothers and parents and how they speak those things over their children's lives. But it's like, if you don't want that to happen, don't prophesy that over your life. I'm actually going to leave the video that where Victoria says this little talk on your screen so you can take a look at it. And I'll also share another video of mine that I think you'll like. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like this video and want to see more. I'm always happy to chat in the comments. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.